Hello PhiloSign lovers, I have some great news. You can now follow PhiloSign also in Substack, that is philosign.substack.com, or in Twitter with the name @PhiloSign. So subscribe the PhiloSign publication in Substack and follow me on Twitter. Now I'm especially excited about Substack. Substack is a blog/newsletter which you can subscribe with your email, and then whenever I post a text, you will get that post directly to your inbox, so you always stay up to date. Now I have a quite neat plan with Substack that I want to share with you. Now the plan is to post regularly quite short texts, text that you can read in one sitting on your phone, and then after a while we have a bunch of those texts, and then I will cross-reference those texts. So in one text I have links to other texts, and then in the end it forms this kind of web of ideas or web of relations between the texts, and it's quite similar to Wikipedia page actually. But the idea behind this is that Peirce's thought is also, or its structure is more like a web of relations than a hierarchical system, because Peirce doesn't have a single foundation or really even a nucleus to his thinking. It's a web of ideas. The architectonic is a structure of relations. So with Substack I'm able to mimic, or the Substack structure will be an icon of Peirce's, the structure of Peirce's thought. So I think in Substack I'm able to do this much better than in YouTube. So I'm very excited about that. Now, to give you an example about the structure of Peirce's thought, if you take one idea from Peirce and you want to explain it, you cannot separate it from the system. Rather, you have to explain it within the system. So we have this one idea, and in order to explain it, you have to reference this other idea, and that idea, and that idea. But in order to explain those ideas, or this idea, you have to then reference this idea and this idea. In order to explain them, you have to reference this and that, and then you're already quite far away from the original idea. And this is a challenge with Peirce. Although this web of relations then as a whole forms a very logical and coherent system, it's very hard to get into it in the beginning. And I think with Substack I'm able to mimic that structure, so I can present one idea quite clearly in a short text, and then have links to these other ideas, which then have links to other ideas, and so on. So that's the idea with the Substack publication. But I want to keep these texts short, so you wouldn't be overwhelmed, and I want to keep the language very clear, very down-to-earth kind of style, which I really like myself, because my simple brain cannot understand complex things. When I read these things, I always want to break them down in a very simple manner so that I can understand them, and then I can further communicate them to you. But don't forget the Twitter. The Twitter is about keeping you up to date with all things PhiloSign. I post all my Substack posts there. I link them. Then I link all my new YouTube videos, and then I tweet something Peirce related mostly. But if you have a Twitter, follow PhiloSign. But that's the update. So subscribe the publication at philosign.substack.com and follow me on Twitter @PhiloSign. But most importantly, share these things with your friends in your own social media. My dream is that PhiloSign could reach people that have never heard of Peirce, and that's a bit hard to do. But I find that Peirce's semiotics and his ideas and his thought in general are crucial for our civilization at this point in history. I really do. So share, and share. And feel free to post any comments, insights, ideas, questions in Substack, Twitter, or in YouTube, and we will keep this community of inquirers growing. We will keep it vivid, and we will mutually develop and nurture symbols, grow them together, and yeah, good sign hunting.